When we are talking about Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost may be the first name that came to your mind due to the great rivalry between these two drivers. Even though he is a four-time world champion, Prost was undervalued by history, as people want to highlight Senna over him as the greatest driver. This French driver was able to clinch the driver's title in 1985, 1986, 1989 and 1993 during his 14-season-long F1 career. During the periods between 1987 and 2001, he held the record for the most number of race victories, before it was broken by the seven-time world champion Michael Schumacher. The Frenchman was able to collect 798.5 career points with 51 race victories and 106 podiums. We think these facts are enough to understand the greatness of this French F1 champ, and if he drove in an era without Senna, he would undoubtedly become more famous than he is now. So, this video is dedicated to the former F1 champ who is undervalued by the history books. But before we proceed, hit the subscribe button and smash the bell icon for more exciting updates. Prost's first experience in motorsport came at the age of 14 when he decided to join kart racing. Before that, Prost was considered as a very talented athlete during his school days and showed his skills in different sports like wrestling, roller skating and football. Before developing his interest towards motorsport, his thought was to start his career as a gym instructor or a professional football player. But everything changed within a short time span when he got exposed to karting. In 1974, he gave up on the school life with the aim of becoming a full-time racer. In 1975, young Prost was able to clinch the French Senior Karting Championship and then got the chance to compete in Formula Renault. He was able to win the championships in that category in 1976 and 1977 and earned a promotion to Formula 3 in 1978. He dominated the entire category by winning both the 1979 French and European F3 championships. The next call for Prost was not from F2, but directly from F1. The Frenchman had many options to select, as many teams were ready to hire him. After a careful selection process, he decided to race for McLaren in 1980. He was able to record a 6th place finish in his debut race in Argentina, earning some points, which is a rare achievement for most of the debutants in F1. Despite signing a 3-year deal with McLaren, Prost decided to leave the team at the end of the 1980 season and joined with Renault for the next 3 seasons. The first season with Renault was not a good one for him, as he was not able to complete many of the opening races of the season for different reasons. But he came back strongly in the latter part and was able to record his maiden victory in F1 by winning the 1981 French Grand Prix. In the end, Prost finished his second season in F1 as 5th in the Drivers' Championship standings. The Frenchman enjoyed some mixed results the following season, but was able to finish as 4th in the standings with victories in 2 opening Grand Prix. The 4-time world champion earned a huge improvement the next season by recording 4 more victories with the team. He was competitive enough to finish the season as 2nd in the driver's standings, just 2 points behind Nelson Piquet, but Prost felt that the team was too conservative related to the development of the car, and on the other hand, Renault management tried to make him the scapegoat for failing to win a championship, so he lost interest in driving for the French racing team and decided to join McLaren again. Prost finally found the winning formula with McLaren during the period between 1984 to 1989. He partnered with 2-time world champion Niki Lauda, and it was a big challenge for him to beat his well-experienced teammate. But he succeeded in that challenge successfully by winning 7 races to Lauda's 5 victories. Unfortunately, he lost the world title to Lauda by half a point, despite winning the season finale race in Portugal. Prost was motivated by that failure and came back strongly the following season, being the first ever French national to win a Formula 1 championship. He dominated the whole season and kept a gap of 20 points to the closest rival, Michele Alboreto, in the final standings. His performance in the 1985 season was sufficient enough to earn him a Légion d'honneur distinction in France. Lauda retired at the end of the 1985 season, and he was replaced by the 1982 world champion Keke Rosberg. McLaren drivers faced a considerable fight from the Williams duo Nigel Mansell and Nelson Piquet throughout the season. Till the final race of the season, Prost appeared to finish the season as second in the standings behind Mansell. Unfortunately, Mansell experienced a tyre failure in the final race, opening the chance for Prost to defend his title. Rosberg decided to retire at the end of the 1986 season, and Prost got a new teammate called Stefan Johansson. As with the previous seasons, the Williams-Honda duo gave a good fight to Prost, but this time he had a new rival called Senna from the Lotus F1 team. So Prost experienced a huge decline, finishing the season as fourth in the standings below Piquet, Mansell and Senna. With an internal political issue between the Williams team management and the engine supplier, Honda decided not to supply engines for Williams anymore, despite their success in the previous seasons. Honda came up with a new partnership with McLaren, and they signed Senna under the recommendation of the new engine supplier. This opened the doors for the all-time greatest rivalry of the sport between Senna and Prost. McLaren-Honda dominated the entire season, winning 15 out of 16 races. Prost was able to record 7 victories, but he was beaten by his new teammate Senna, clinching the 1988 title. At the end of the 1988 season, Prost met with the head of Honda's R&D department and F1 racing program, Nobuhiko Kawamoto, in Geneva, and expressed his displeasure on giving preferential treatment to Senna. McLaren dominated the next season as well, and the rivalry between Prost and Senna continued throughout the year. They appeared to be racing against each other very dangerously. Every factor within McLaren's team appeared to be supporting Senna over Prost, and the Frenchman accused Honda of supplying him with a less powerful engine compared to Senna. The most famous collision of the Senna-Prost rivalry happened during the 1989 Japanese Grand Prix, and Senna was punished by the FIA for missing the chicane after that collision. Prost thought that his championship hopes were over, as he had to retire after the collision. But after the punishment given to Senna, Prost was able to clinch his third world title in a more controversial manner. Prost was not happy about the climate inside the McLaren team and decided to move to Ferrari for the next 2 seasons, replacing Gerhard Berger. He was able to record 5 victories with the Ferrari team, and the championship once again came at the penultimate round of the season in Japan in back-to-back seasons. This time, Senna was ahead of Prost by 9 points and made a collision with the Frenchman at the first corner of the race, resulting in retirement for both cars. So Prost lost the opportunity to cover the 9-point gap, and the 1990 championship was easily clinched by Senna in a more controversial way. The next season was a total disaster for both Ferrari and Prost. Ferrari cars were not up to the level of McLaren or Williams to challenge them for the 1991 title. Nigel Mansell also left the team due to his disputes with Alain Prost, and Jean Alesi replaced him within the Ferrari setup. Prost recorded no victories in the season, except for 5 podium finishes. He publicly criticised the team, and as a result of that, his contract was terminated before the season ended. Prost was replaced by Italian driver Gianni Morbidelli for the final race of the 1991 season. And even though he was sacked from the team, Ferrari offered him a large sum of money not to drive for any other team in the 1992 season. So he was out of the sport that year. After a 1-year absence, he was ready to make a comeback with Williams. When Mansell heard that he was going to race with Prost again, he left the entire F1 to race in the kart series. Prost had a clause in his agreement preventing Senna from joining with the team, and as a result, Damon Hill partnered with him at Williams in the 1993 season. Prost was able to win his 4th and final title in that season after experiencing a regular fight from Damon Hill throughout the season. After winning winning the title, he announced that he was not going to defend his title and retired from the sport. And in that way, one of the greatest and most controversial Formula One careers came to an end. Formula One fans have mixed feelings regarding Prost over his controversial behaviour throughout his F1 career. What do you think about the issues of drivers like Senna and Mansell with Prost? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel to get more exciting Formula One news. See you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.